Well, hello again. Get that set up somewhere there. Bear with me a moment. Defund the police, you say? Yeah, isn't that some sharp thinking? Wow. No police. Nobody to police the populace. So the craziest, the maddest, and the baddest run society, and everybody else gets run over? How do you think that's going to work? Take a look what's happening down in Seattle. Chaz, Chop, whatever you want to call it. Well, that's just a good social experiment, isn't it? Let's see how all that pans out in the end. I won't get into the details of how it's progressing or the inevitable conclusion it's going to come to. If you think it's going to work, well, no point listening to me any further. Well, let's go to Canada here. We have one of the most stable, peaceful societies. We have problems, we have issues. What society doesn't? Are our police perfect? Of course not. Human nature, the law of averages, and the very nature of the beast, shall I say, dictates policing is not and cannot be perfect. Could it be made a little better here in Canada? Well, I wouldn't argue that it could be better, yes. But, well, let me at this point say I think Canada possesses some of the finest police in the world. We've got a pretty well balanced, shall I say, quality, caliber of police officer in this country. Are there some brutal ones, some corrupt ones, some inefficient, ineffective ones? Well, absolutely. Again, law of averages. And again, we could do a little better, but I don't think anyone really has anything to complain about. Having said that, you wanted no police. No police, you say? Yeah. I don't know how anyone in their right mind can even argue it. In Toronto, they painted that great big "Defund the Police." Ah, you can see it from the sky. Is it in front of Town Hall? I don't know. Goes right across the whole street. They let them away with it. The mayor of Toronto has rolled right over, I guess trying to keep things peaceable. And they're doing it in other cities in southern Ontario here. I'm not sure about the rest of the country. Yeah, okay, city council, we're going to make it a priority to, have a review at that and look very seriously towards considering defunding the police. Some small, and I would say not terribly bright, or how would you say, not fathoming the need for police in any society, to have the mayor of Toronto saying, yeah, okay, we're going to look into that, we're going to roll over like a puppy dog on it. No. Anybody who lives in the rough parts, the bad parts, the no-go zones, as they use that term in the UK and in Europe, the bad places in our cities. It was almost said inner city. Notice that's sort of an American term, but yeah, it's a goodly portion of Toronto where a white civilian such as myself doesn't want to go during the day and won't go at night. And you want to have no police presence there? How long is that going to last? Give your head a shake. Defunding the police. What's this world going to? How can anyone in their right mind? Again, you go back and you look at Chaz and Chop, or whatever you want to call them. Again, is it working out well? No. They're raping and murdering and pillaging and burning and destroying and looting, etc. Well, nobody's keeping the stats. How could they? But a lot harder than faster, all of those unpleasant things, than if there was a police presence there. How long is it going to last? It's not. This whole Seattle business, let's hope it serves as a social experiment that proves itself to be as flawed as it inevitably and inarguably is. So we stop this foolishness. Absolutely. Before the anarchy in the States, with the Black Lives Matter, the social breakdown, the Antifa, whoa, culminating in, again, the social experiment, I'll call it, in Seattle. Before that happened, there was no discontent in Canada. Nobody was marching in the streets talking about defunding the police. What kind of madness infects the average man's brain where a week ago, I'll say, in Edmonton, Alberta, everything was working pretty smoothly. Again, policing is an imperfect thing, but everything was rolling along pretty good. If anything, the populace, I'm sure the majority of them would have said, if we had the money, I would happily put more of it towards policing. Now, what, 2 weeks later, they're in the streets painting the sidewalks in Toronto, defund the police. There is a virus, and I don't think it's COVID. I think it's like mad cow disease for people. It's craziness, is it not? Anyways, I was ranting and rambling a little more today than I usually do, but I kind of vented and cut it off my chest. Thanks for listening.